The Kansas City Chiefs are within striking distance of being the first team in NFL history to three-peat, solidifying themselves as one of the greatest dynasties in professional sports. Now, I know I'm mostly known just for talking Kansas State, but guys, through and through, I'm a Kansas City guy, Chiefs guy, Royals guy, Kansas State. That's the bread and butter. That's what my heart's at. Today's video, I want to talk about the Chiefs. I know not everybody that's a K-State fan that's here is a Chiefs fan. I totally get that. For those of you that are watching, thank you so much. You mean the world to me. Even if you're not interested and you're clicking off real quick, if you see Patrick Mahomes in the thumbnail and say, I hate this team, I get it. You guys do you. That being said, I'm going to celebrate this one, folks. My hometown team is headed to a Super Bowl for the fourth time in 5 seasons. That is incredible. That is historic. That is over the moon, unbelievable, like unfathomable what the Kansas City Chiefs have done. Now, I want to talk about the AFC Championship game and give my overall thoughts on the game because I think there's a lot of good things to take away from the matchup. Obviously, the biggest thing, like you're going to the Super Bowl. There's not like a ton of micro specifics you need to break down, but there's a couple things that I feel like Chiefs fans would appreciate me highlighting, and I want to give some thoughts on that. So to start off, folks, I posted this on Twitter in case you missed it. The final play of regulation, when the Chiefs need a first down on 3rd and 9, what play do they call? Dial back the calendar 8 seasons, 8 years. The 2017 season, the first NFL game for Kareem Hunt in the regular season, his first career touchdown. It's a 2nd and goal play against the New England Patriots, the game on Monday Night Football, that the Chiefs won 42-27. Andy Reid goes back 8 years in the history books to find the exact formation, exact play, and dial up a beauty. Samaje Perine leaks out of the backfield, slips over to the left, while you have a clear-out concept going left to right, and then Kelsey kind of doing his own thing in the passing game, off tackle to the right. They call the exact play to a T that Kareem Hunt scored his first career touchdown on in 2017 to get the first down. Obviously, in that situation, it was a goal line package. The formation was still the same, but it was at the goal line. And then looking at the play side by side, it is the exact same formation, exact same drop, exact same concept. Andy is absolutely cooking. He is a football savant. And I don't have to be the first to say that because I definitely am not, but his mind is one of the elite minds in professional football and all of sports in general. A respected dude that is unanimously loved, truly has changed everything about his career. Obviously, for the first 20 years, or whatever the case was, like, the guy was incredible in Philadelphia, but did end up getting fired after just kind of that middle of the pack finish after finish after finish. Had the one Super Bowl to show for it, didn't have a ton beyond that, but like, you come to Kansas City and now you find the engine. You get Patrick Mahomes, you draft the right guy. This thing skyrockets. Brett Veach is a guy that deserves so much credit for all of his hands in this team, like in the foundation of this team. Brett Veach knew early on in Patrick Mahomes' career at Texas Tech, like this is a guy to watch. And then you draft him, you do the right thing. Buffalo trades you the pick, which is so crazy already. They trade you the pick for Worthy. They trade you, like, if you need help, go to the Buffalo Bills. They're trading you picks like crazy. That's insane to think about. But I just wanted to get the little quick final play side-by-side thing. If you want to see it, go check out my Twitter at Tillery_Joe. I posted the side-by-side comparison, and it is wild to see. It's baffling. The second thing that I feel like everybody wants to talk about, and there's a couple different things I could jump in this route, is, the ref talk. People want to talk about officiating crews and how the Chiefs are bailed out and given this. Guys, there wasn't really many controversial calls in this. The two that people always, like, when you have risen to the point of a dynastic run, when you're a dynasty team, you look at this and everybody and their brother looks at it and says, this is a reason that the Chiefs are fraudulent. This isn't happening. They always get bailed out by some BS call. Guys, the two things that maybe were head scratchers to the wide variety of audience members is the play to Worthy that was a 30-yard bomb before half. It was a 50-50 ball. Cole Bishop definitely started with possession, transferred over to Worthy as he's going towards the ground. Ball hits the ground but doesn't move like that. It's a catch. But the point of what I'm saying is, like, if it's not a catch, you're still getting a first down, because you have a defensive holding. And I think realistically about 60% of the people that are complaining about this call don't also realize, hey, it's an automatic first down. They're just seeing it on Twitter and saying, oh, the Chiefs got bailed out. This is an incomplete pass. It should be a turnover. It should be this. I don't think people are actually sitting down watching the game. They're more so ranting about the fact that the Chiefs are having sustained success. But I also won't, I'm not immune to saying that like 50-50 calls or like you get a favorable whistle at times. Like, I'm not immune to that. I don't think anybody is. And realistically, if the roles are reversed, you got to celebrate. So I'm definitely not mad. But the point of that one was that was a 50-50 call. I could totally live with that being an incomplete pass. It doesn't really change the dynamic of the game that much. Yes, it's easier to score from the 5-yard line than it is from the 20, but like you're going to have 1st and 10 from the 20 with less than 2 minutes remaining. Like, realistically, it's going to be likely the same thing. Could it be a field goal game? Could it be a touchdown? Sure, but I feel like realistically, when it's all said and done, Kansas City punches that in the end zone regardless. Then the next play everyone wants to talk about is the Josh Allen 4th down call on 4th and 1 with a QB sneak it under center. There's a lot of people talking about this, and I'll talk about some specific examples, but the replay crew, when you look at it, shows Josh Allen getting as close as humanly possible to the line, but from the angle, you see Chris Jones' entire body blocking the play. If something is ruled on the field a certain way, they're not going to overturn it unless it's clear and obvious. Who is disputing that? Who is debating that? And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's 100% not a first down. I'm not going to sit here and say it's 100% a first down. Anyone that says they know definitively what happened on that play of yes, it's a first down for sure, or no, it's not a first down for sure, you're not right. It's a toss-up. It is literally the definition of a 50-50 call. It could be called one way, it could be called the other. You go with what's on the field. If it's too close to call and there's no definitive evidence, go with that. That's all I'm going to say. I get that people want to complain, but man, it's just like you will not win football games without sustained success. So you can point at the refs and say, the refs always bail Mahomes out. They do this, they do this. It's so crazy to me to imagine that, people don't go home and consider, okay, look at the work it takes to get to 3 straight Super Bowls, to win back-to-back Super Bowls, to go for a three-peat opportunity. Look at the sustained success you have to have, the continuity you have to have. In a salary cap era where you have to balance everything, you have Patrick Mahomes who takes a 10-year deal with the team, Travis Kelce, whose future we'll talk about here in a second, but it is an unbelievable time to be a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't mean that to say I take it for granted. I want to clarify this. What bothers me a ton is when fans do take it for granted. The new age Chiefs fans don't understand the history behind, hey, we sucked for many, many, many years. And obviously leading into the Patrick Mahomes years, you had the Alex Smith years where it's, yeah, we're a wild card team. We're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I get that. That is a fine way of life. It's the Steelers' MO right now. Make it to the wild card weekend, then bow out first weekend. But it wasn't like the Kansas City Chiefs are some historic program that had multiple Super Bowls and multiple Hall of Famers that are all incredible for various reasons. There's Hall of Famers as incredibly respected people in the NFL community. There's historic moments for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not disputing that whatsoever, but this is a new thing. This is 6 years of dominance over an entire professional sports organization. You completely run the NFL right now. That is such a crazy thing to see. Before I continue down the rabbit hole of the Chiefs stuff, let me get this off my chest. I know there's a lot of debate of who's the second best quarterback in the NFL. Some people will say who's the best, but realistically, when you've gone to 3 straight Super Bowls, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. I get that the stats weren't incredible this year. Still wills his team to win even when the odds are against him. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He will be until he retires. But there is a lot of debate between the guys that all seem to have the hypothetical debates of, is Joe Burrow, the if man memes, those crack me up by the way. So Joe Burrow, you get the Lamar Jackson defenders, you get the Josh Allen people. Let me put the record straight from my stance. Josh Allen's the second best quarterback in the league. There's not a quarterback that I'm more afraid of than Josh Allen. When there's a dude with a football in his hands, if I had to pick someone out of those 3 that I don't want to have it most of all, I'm picking Josh Allen every single time. I'd rather have Burrow have it. I'd rather have Lamar Jackson have it. Do not let Josh Allen have the football with a chance to win. I do not want to see what happens. Obviously, last night we got out of it okay, but the dude still made a 4th down play, throwing across his body 40 yards down the field, hits Dalton Kincaid in the chest or off the arm, incomplete pass, you lose the game. That puts you in a field goal range. When Superman's on the football field in the form of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, you understand, okay, this is going to be a historic matchup. Joe Burrow, I don't feel that way. Lamar Jackson, I don't feel that way. I'm worried about his legs. I'm worried about his ability, but I don't have the same fear in my heart that I do playing Josh Allen. That being said, I get it. Chiefs have been dominant in recent stretches, so it's kind of a toss-up. So, the one guy that's beaten him in the playoffs has been Joe Burrow, than Tom Brady, obviously. But it's just a situation where it's I would rather not have Josh Allen ever play against the Chiefs ever again, personally. But hats off to that team. They are a really good football team, and they're going to win at some point. I mean, I know it sucks just to kind of get kicked in the nuts after game after game after game after game. But at some point, their time's coming. I truly think if they go to the Super Bowl instead of Kansas City this year, they beat the Eagles as well. But we'll go to Eagles stuff in a bit. Next topic, I got to talk about Travis Kelce's future. I think Trav's probably hanging it up after this year. He's got a great life. He's done everything in the game of football that's physically able to be done, except for a three-peat. Nobody has ever done this. Win or lose, I think Travis Kelce understands, hey, this is history. I get to try for a three-peat. Let's go out on top. If he wins this game, no matter what, he's on top. He's going out on top. But I can't see Trav wanting to start the process all over back for a one Super Bowl, for the first Super Bowl run. You think about it, you go for 3. You lose, God forbid you lose. Then you go home and you say, what does my future hold? Do I want to go back and start fresh and try to win this thing one more time? Do I want to go out right now when I've had so much success? I'm the greatest tight end who ever lived. I think Trav's probably going to hang it up and go enjoy his life. Go celebrate with Taylor. Go do your thing. Do the family life. Do the traveling, touring, show life, commercials, TV. Go do everything else lined up after football. Your life after football is going to be spectacular, and you're at a point now where there's literally nothing more you can do. Obviously, we as Chiefs fans want you back. We'd love to see you back, but realistically, I think Trav probably hangs it up after the Super Bowl, but we'll see. That'll be subject for a later date. I'm sure we'll talk about it on the podcast or some type of post-game interview, but as of right now, that's my prediction for Trav. 3 quick things, man. I got to say, Drew Tranquil was on one after the game, man. I got to pull up this man's Twitter. It was kind of ridiculous. It's sweet because he's definitely a dude that's chirpy and getting after it, but Drew Tranquil definitely heard, well, the entire locker room heard it, I'll say that. Drew Tranquil heard all the rumors and heard all the stuff about the refs and the BS behind that. He decided to quote tweet multiple Barstool personalities and post this one specifically. He said, "Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Heck of a battle. The rest of y'all can take that ref talk and kick rocks. We stand on business. Next one, replying to Will Compton, the former linebacker for a couple different teams, is kind of with Barstool, kind of not busting with the boys, doing his own thing. Drew Tranquil quote tweets a post of his about, replying to it with a yellow flag saying business, like joking about, hey, you got helped out by the refs. Drew Tranquil says, Will Compton loves the Chiefs and they'll be talking nonstop about us on Busting with the Boys this week. Then he replied to Dave Portnoy after he posted about, again, how the hell is this ref staring at Josh Allen's back? It's a first down. Drew Tranquil said, should have taken your $1 million from hashtag Trump coin and taken a nice vacation. He didn't get it and you know it. Hashtag go Chiefs. Because Dave Portnoy put a large sum of money on the Bills to win that game. And then lastly, sticking on the Barstool topic, let's talk about John Gruden, a guy that I really, I appreciate his commentary. He's just a wild dude. Love Coach Gruden. I know he's had his stuff, but just a good dude in football. Someone you want to hear talk about football. He's a guy you want to get 4 beers with, house a couple beers, talk about, the option offense. Go do something like that. John Gruden talked about it post-game when a Bills fan called in and basically said, how do we beat these guys? It's rigged. The NFL's rigged, blah, blah, blah. And John Gruden sets the record straight and says, I wanted to write this one down. When you can't make the 1 yard you need to make, you don't deserve to go to the Super Bowl. You cannot rely on an officiating crew to bail you out. When it's said and done, you have a 6'6", 240-pound quarterback that is one of the most dynamic rushers in the NFL history. A guy that can go under center and get a yard at any given time. When you can't do that and you leave it up to a 50-50 call, you're not going to do it. That thing needs to be 100% set in stone. That's how you beat Kansas City. I flash back personally, this is not Gruden's comment anymore, but I flash back personally to that Ravens game a couple years ago where on 4th and 2, they could have punted it, given it back to the Chiefs. They said, no, we're going for this thing. The Ravens roll Lamar out. Lamar runs for the first down, solidifies it. There's no 50-50 call. There's no doubt. Lamar ends it. He does his thing. When you want to beat Kansas City, you have to make the play in crucial time. Chris Jones helps out, stops that thing. Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquil. You need a Superman play. It's why Josh Allen beat us in the regular season. That incredible run, he put it on his back and he went and won that thing. Left no doubt. The Bills left doubt. They're not going to the Super Bowl. That's what it comes back to. Final 2 thoughts real quick. This is a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. Everybody's going to hate this that's not from Philadelphia or Kansas City. Everybody in the world is rooting for the giant meteor. This is the equivalent in most mainstream media eyes as the World Series between the Dodgers and the Yankees, which also stupid as hell to say considering it's a small market team like Kansas City. Like it's dumb as hell for me to think about that the Chiefs have risen to the big bad guy spot. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's like small market teams in Kansas City go draft the best quarterback who ever lived, develop the team, they get the culture right. This is what every team wants to do. This is every team's dream, and we're living it. That's so crazy. But long story short, America's going to hate this, and I cannot love it anymore. Final thought, why do NFL teams not pick up Steve Spagnuolo as their head coach? I get that it may not be the sexiest hire, but if this dude's going to stay in Kansas City, you're going to win playoff games. You're going to win Super Bowl games. You're going to win regular season games. He is a football savant. Andy Reid's coaching tree is incredible. Steve Spagnuolo gets a bum rap with the Rams a couple years ago in St. Louis. Then you look at the different hirings this month, and you see, okay, I get Ben Johnson going somewhere. He was going to go somewhere. The Bears, I get that young quarterback. That's a good call, offensive line coach. The Cowboys, what are you doing? Brian Schottenheimer? I know Marty Schottenheimer's kid or grandkid, whatever the case was. There's a Chiefs tie there, but what are we talking about? That is an awful hire. That is a horrible hire. I mean, damn, throw the bag at anybody else. But go get Steve Spagnuolo. You had a dominant defense under Dan Quinn. Bring that thing back under Steve Spagnuolo. The Jets, I like your hire. I like Aaron Glenn. I think he's a good guy. I think he'll be a good coach. But, it blows my mind the Raiders will go with Pete Carroll over Steve Spagnuolo. It's just like, dude, we're throwing rocks at stones. We're hoping for the best. Steve Spagnuolo, I'm so glad you're still in Kansas City, but it baffles me that he hasn't a second shot in the NFL run. He's a Hall of Fame coach as an assistant coach. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be that guy up on stage. But for now, that's pretty much going to be the thoughts. We'll talk about the game as it gets a little closer or in post-game. If you're a K-State fan, you didn't stay this long, or you did, and you hate me talking about the Chiefs, I apologize. I assume you wouldn't watch 16 minutes if you hate me talking about the Chiefs. But either way, I appreciate those who do. It means a lot to have you convert over to these videos as well. And no, I'm not turning my back on K-State and just going straight Chiefs talk here. I'm going to do a little bit of everything. Cats, Chiefs, Royals. We'll see what happens. Season's almost over for the Chiefs. Baseball season starting up here soon. We'll see how that thing goes. But for now, that's going to do it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Go Chiefs.